Welcome back to Worst of the Wii, the show where I play and rank terrible Wii games to find out which game is truly the worst of the Wii. And today is a very special episode, because it's a holiday, well, special. That's right, there's no better way to celebrate the most wonderful time of the year than with the most woeful games imaginable. And today I've got two Christmas craps that you keep stuffing down my stocking. So today I'll be playing Santa Claus is Coming to Town and We Wish You a Merry Christmas. I know absolutely nothing about either of these games, other than the fact that Santa Claus is Coming to Town is based on that old stop-motion movie of the same name. I used to watch that movie all the time as a kid too, so I have hope this one is at least decent and doesn't end up ranking too highly on the naughty list. But there's only one way to find out. Let's dash right through the snow and on to our first review. Santa Claus is Coming to Town is a 2.5D platforming adaptation of the classic 1970 stop-motion TV movie of the same name. Wow, I got that all in one take. The film tells the origins of Santa Claus, and how a man once known as Kris Kringle became the iconic red-capped, white-bearded home invader we all know and love. I should also note this is a very late Wii game, releasing on November 8th, 2011, just 10 days before Skyward Sword, and about 1 year before the Wii U. It was also released 41 years after the original film. Why this game exists, I have no idea, but it does at least follow the film's plot pretty faithfully, although it is slightly abridged. So the game begins with an introduction from the narrator. One day, a baby named Claus arrived on the doorstep of this Wario-ass sounding dude named Burgermeister Meisterburger, the mayor of Sombertown. And based on his reaction, he isn't too happy about it.
Take the little baggage to the orphanage. That's the proper place for foundlings anyway.
But on the way to the orphanage, the guard loses Claus, and the forest animals deliver the baby to Miss Kringle. She decides to rename the child Kris and teaches him a ton of stuff, like
how to run, how to jump, and most importantly, how to have fun.
Yeah, we'll see about that last one. So Kris decides to journey to Sombertown to bring toys and joy to the residents. Immediately upon starting the game, I slowly came to the realization that the controls aren't bad. It's no Mario, but Kris controls way better than I was expecting. The jump feels weighty and somewhat precise, and you can course correct pretty easily in midair. He's not the fastest person in the world, but the level design feels catered to his speed. Levels are fairly concise, but they force exploration by making you collect snowflakes. Each level has a snowflake requirement, as indicated by the leftmost meter. If you make it to the end of the level without filling the meter past the line, you will be brought back to the beginning of the stage. You won't lose any progress though. You'll just need to collect the remaining snowflakes needed. The snowflakes are a strange progression requirement that feels like padding, but I never really felt like it made much of a difference. Snowflakes are abundant enough that you'll probably collect plenty of them without even trying. You can also find these stockings that give you bonus rewards, but these rewards are just stills from the original film. It's pretty lame. So Kris makes it to Sombertown and starts handing out gifts. There's a new meter on the top right of the screen, which will fill up after giving enough gifts to the children. But unlike the snowflakes, there is no gift giving requirement, and I don't think there's any reward for filling up the meter, so it's kinda pointless. You can just kinda skip all the kids and nothing happens. It's okay though, because in Sombertown, gift giving is against the law anyway. Burgermeister Meisterburger recently tripped on a toy, so he decided to ban all toys and make playing with them illegal. Kris's gift giving is even scolded by the local school teacher, Miss Jessica. But after Kris gives her a doll that she's always wanted, Jessica turns to his side and realizes he's not such a bad guy. However, Burgermeister discovers Kris's actions and quickly puts a warrant out for his arrest.
You are obviously a nonconformist and a rebel. Arrest this man. Arrest him.
Yeah, okay. Now Kris has to avoid guards, who aren't really all that effective. If you get captured, all you need to do is shake the Wii remote, and then the guards just kind of fall over and won't get back up? These dudes are less effective than fucking Goombas. Chris escapes the town, but soon enters Warlock territory. The Winter Warlock confronts Chris, but of course his curse is lifted after Chris gives him a present. The Warlock level is my favorite in the game. It's a bit different because you don't have control of Chris. It's more like an auto-scroller, but you can still jump to collect snowflakes. What really makes this level though is the music. Put one foot in front of the other plays for the entire time, and I love that song from the original film.
Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking out the door.
The original film's music is used pretty sparingly throughout this game, but when it is used, it significantly increases my enjoyment. Unfortunately though, the rest of the game trips up from here. Like I said before, the core gameplay isn't bad. It is a pretty standard platformer, but it doesn't feel awful to play. But this is when I felt the game was severely lacking in variety. It tries to switch things up with level gimmicks, like collecting letters or befriending animals, but these are just superficial changes and don't impact gameplay in the slightest. Even worse is that these gimmicks are constantly reused with very little changes. Levels just start to blend together, and I was so fucking bored that I decided to quantify it. That's right, I listed out all 25 levels in the game and included the level theme and gimmick. Let's go through them and you'll see just how quickly this game runs out of ideas. Chapter 1 is the tutorial/snow level. Chapter 2 doesn't fucking exist. So here's the thing real quick. There are 4 chapters in this game that don't exist. Well, kind of. Because what I think the game is doing is it's counting this like in-between chapter minigame as an actual full-on chapter. Even though it doesn't say chapter 2, it goes from chapter 1 and then you do this minigame and then chapter 3. So the game is counting this minigame as a full chapter, which it's not. And this happens 4 times, so technically there's only 21 chapters in the game, or 21 actual platforming stages, but I don't know. Chapter 3, Snow Level, same thing as Chapter 1. Chapter 4, Snow Level, same thing again. And then we get a story cutscene. Chapter 5 is new, it is a town level where you deliver toys. Chapter 6, same thing, it just goes right from chapter 5 to chapter 6 and it is literally the same thing. And then we get a cutscene, and then after that we get the town level where you deliver toys and you have to avoid the guards. So the guards are a new gimmick there. And then we have a snow level, which is basically the same thing as the levels before it. And then we get the cutscene with the Winter Warlock that goes into the Winter Warlock stage, which again, best stage in the game by far. And then after that level, chapter 10, we have a snow level where you collect letters, that is new. And then chapter 11 is another one of those mini games. And then the next however many chapters, basically the rest of the game is just all reused level concepts. Chapter 12, Snow Level, collect letters. Chapter 13, Town Level, deliver toys. Chapter 14, Snow Level, collect letters. Chapter 15, doesn't exist. Chapter 16, Snow Level, collect letters. Chapter 17, Town Level, deliver toys. Chapter 18, Town Level, deliver toys. Chapter 19, Snow Level, collect letters. Chapter 20, doesn't exist. Chapter 21, Snow Level, collect letters. Chapter 22, Town Level, deliver toys. Chapter 23, Town Level, deliver toys. Chapter 24 is actually different. It is a snow level where you play as Jessica and you feed animals. Jessica controls exactly the same as Chris, but you know what? It is a pretty decent change of pace. And then chapter 25 is another snow level where you collect letters, and then that's the end of the game. So, if we subtract those mini games, that leaves us with 21 platforming levels. And out of those 21 levels, 15 of them are reused ideas with so little variation that they all blend together. That is over 70% of the game. 70% of this game is padding. Not counting the fake levels, the game goes 9 chapters without a story cutscene. It's literally just Chris delivering presents, going home, and then going back to deliver more presents for 9 consecutive levels. Even the fucking narrator at the start of some of the levels just goes like, and Chris continued through the forest to collect letters or some bullshit like that.
Once again, Chris makes his way to Somber Town through the Mountain of the Whispering Winds.
I found myself rushing through stages because I was so unbelievably bored. And then the game wants you to break into people's houses and play a minigame to deliver the gifts? This literally beats the pace of this game into the ground even further. I can't believe they expected you to just stop progressing in the level just to make you play a shitty minigame that gives you nothing in return. It felt good to get that off my chest, but I think I'm done venting about this game. So how does it end? Well, Claus and the Warlock eventually get thrown in jail, but with the help of Magic Cornfeed, Jessica swoops in to rescue them along with her flying reindeer. Chris learns his real name is Claus and decides to use that name to conceal his identity. Claus and Jessica get married, start a worldwide toy-making enterprise, and Burgermeister Meisterburger dies off screen. What a happy ending. So you can probably guess I'm not a huge fan of this game, despite me enjoying the source material. The game was honestly pretty decent up to the Warlock level, but then it just drags like Santa's sack on a hot summer day. Nothing about it is terribly bad though, so I'm gonna put it right below Family Party 30 Great Games. At its best, Santa Claus is Coming to Town is pretty decent, and if it was about half of its length, I could easily see it surpassing Major Minor's Majestic March as the second best game I've played for this series. It's a shame though, really. It had potential, but I'm wishing this next game is a merry time. We Wish You a Merry Christmas isn't a game. It is a Christmas experience. Developed by Panic Button, the same company that ported fucking Doom and Doom Eternal to the Nintendo Switch, We Wish You a Merry Christmas is a virtual living room filled with incredible Christmas activities, such as decorating a Christmas tree, creating amazing works of art, and relaxing in front of a cozy fireplace. What I'm trying to say is that this game is less of a game and more of a Christmas simulator. There's an advent calendar that gives you different gifts each day of the month. There's a radio that plays Christmas music, and they even give you lyrics to sing along to. There's activities like the elf hunt, which is basically just I Spy and takes way too long for how easy it is. There's a sticker book with my favorite Christmas character of all time, the Christmas octopus, but the meat of the game lies in the minigames. So let's talk about them. Deck the Halls is one of those match 3 puzzle games, which are admittedly pretty hard to fuck up. Every time you match 3 or more of the items disappear and the meter at the bottom of the screen fills up. Once it's full, you move on to the next level. If the items get to the bottom of the screen, you lose. It's fun for what it is, and I did get some enjoyment out of it. Honestly, it's better than most of the full games I've played for this series. Sometimes simple is better, you know? Next up is Present Catch, where you need to bounce presents into Santa's bag. You need to point at the screen to move the elf, but the motion controls actually work pretty well for this one. The game slowly ramps up the difficulty by adding more presents to the mix, and it's good. Again, not the most complex game, but I found myself playing it for way longer than I needed to. My high score ended up being 1,340 points. So if you have this game, let me know what your record is. Next we have Santa's Sleigh, which is probably the weakest game of the bunch. You first gather presents by hovering over them with the cursor, and then you deliver them by pointing at the houses and pressing the A button. It's really boring, extremely easy, and doesn't have the addictive quality of the previous 2 games. Same goes for the reindeer game. It's just shitty doodle jump if you remember that game. You point at the screen to control the reindeer as it bounces off of presents. The green presents disappear, the yellow presents can be bounced on multiple times, and the red ones give you a nice boost. The issue I have with this minigame is that the presents are either always clumped together or spread way too far apart. It can be hard to align yourself because the presents are tiny and pointing at the screen with the Wii Remote doesn't provide the most accurate input. Luckily, the hot chocolate game doesn't require precise platforming. Elves request a certain combination of ingredients for their hot chocolate, and you have a limited amount of time to complete their orders. There's only so many combinations you can make before you've seen them all, and yeah, after a bit, you just kind of quit. And now we have the final game. Candy Cane Lanes. Wait a minute. Elves love bowling, especially when they get to be the pins. Is this what I think it is? Holy shit, it's just elf bowling. No fucking way. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, Elf Bowling is this really shitty PC game that was also ported to the GBA and Nintendo DS. And this is literally just Elf Bowling minus the elf ass and decapitation. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I am so fucking happy I have an excuse to talk about Elf Bowling in this series. It is one of my favorite shitty games ever made. And there's even an Elf Bowling movie starring Tom Kenny of SpongeBob fame. And yeah, I know I'm getting off topic, but I legitimately got so excited when I saw that We Wish You a Merry Christmas just ripped off Elf Bowling. Even if the minigame is basic as hell, I fucking love this. But, that's just about all of the content in We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Despite its simplicity and, well, lack of content, I can actually see some value in this game. It's unique in the fact that it's designed to get kids excited for Christmas in the lead up to the holiday. Which, now that I think about it, this probably wouldn't make a very good Christmas gift. Do all the minigames feel like Flash games? Yes, but some of them are kinda fun. At its worst, it's boring. But what's important is that the game works, and I did find parts of it enjoyable. I honestly think I would rather play this game again than Major Minor's Majestic March. Major Minor admittedly ranks surprisingly high on my list, less so because of the gameplay and more because of its style and charm. We Wish You a Merry Christmas doesn't have as much charm as Major Minor, but the gameplay is substantially better. I liked the present game, okay? And, well, Elf Bowling. But before we close out this section, there is one more activity I forgot to mention. That's right, we are going to write a letter to Santa Claus himself. Dear Santa, my name is Smashing Salmon. I am 23 years old and I live indoors. For Christmas, I would like an extra 5 inches. No, not like that, I am 5'5". But of all the things in the world, I would very much like to have an extra 5 inches. Before I forget, I just wanted to tell you to like and subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Worst of the Wii is a passion project of mine, and I've been fascinated by horrible game design ever since I first received Mythmaker's Supercar GP for my birthday all those years ago. That game is still the worst I've played for this series, even though the list has grown significantly since the first video. I may reevaluate some of those game placements in the future, but for now, I would like to announce that the next Worst of the Wii I will be playing is going to be on the entire Alvin and the Chipmunks trilogy. I fucking hate these movies, and I'm sure I will hate these games even more. This probably won't be the next full video I release though. I have another idea I've been toying around with, and I'm going to try and have it out sometime in January if it goes according to plan. It's still like a rough idea at the moment. I'm gonna do some research into it. Oh, and before I sign off, here is this month's Smudge update as promised. If you didn't see the last video, I kind of impulse adopted a kitten, and now she's 3 months old. She's gotten into the habit of sleeping above my head every night, and she also likes to try and eat my hair, but she's adorable, she can get away with whatever she wants. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Once again, thank you all for watching, happy holidays, and cheers to 2023.